There we go. Cool. Hello. Hello the internet. How is life? How is the world? I need to spend a minute and click on some buttons. Um, all three of you who are watching on YouTube, chat amongst yourselves. Chat box, properties, source, refresh cache to current page. Um, can people start typing in chat, please? I need the chats. Hey, there we go. uh, um, Hello, Starman. How you doing? I'm glad that that is the first one that turns up. Cool. Um, and an email. Nice. It's probably, hey, you're live on YouTube. Thanks. Um, Hello. Right. So hello, Ryan. Hello, Starman, and hello, the Fat Scotsman. Nice. I like how I said Scotsman. Like, I can just say Scotsman. No, it's Scotsman. Anyway, are you getting a Ryzen 9 3950X to play with? Um, this is the culmination of all of my like released today Ryzen CPUs. Um, I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but go on, focus. So that's what I got. Um, so the short answer is currently no. Um, but I'm hopeful that there will be more in the future. Um, I think, as far as I'm aware, they were pretty limited in the number of samples they had, like full worldwide, which probably doesn't bode all that well for stock samples. If they're being um, not that tight, but you know what I mean, like limiting the number of samples they send to media um, would generally suggest that they don't necessarily have the like a significant number of them, right? But hey, I'll get one eventually. um, cool. I'm a just do that. um, Getting a Ryzen 5 3600 for my build. Should I change out the stock cooler for an AIO? If so, which one? So generally speaking, I would say that if you're going to swap out the cooler of something like Ryzen 5 3600, I would go for an air cooler. I'd go for something like the I forget the name, the Arctic the Arctic Freezer 34 Esports Duo. It's about £40, which is considerably less than most AIOs would cost you, but gives incredible performance overall, and also is less likely to be a uh, something that can wear out at some point. Um, Also, hello Harry and hello Corey. How you doing? Also, hello Mac. Ryzen is old news, Andy. The new 16-inch MacBook is the new hotness. So I saw that. Um, I don't really care. Like, I get it. Cool, nice. I'm glad that they've attempted to fix the thermal throttling issues, the keyboard, and they've basically just made the bezels slimmer, so it's a 16-inch display and a 15-inch chassis. Cool. Um, Also dedicated power buttons and escape keys. Nice. But otherwise, yeah, fair. Not something I'll be checking out personally, but yeah. Oops, never mind the new razors, the new hotness. Yeah, I saw that too. Um, no, I don't want a folding phone right now. Dedicated power and escape keys. Oh, hello, 1995. Tell Apple that. Craig, what is your best guess when the RX 5500 will be released? So, the general consensus that I got from the press briefing call a couple of months ago is the cards are launching in OEM systems only to start with, and then when they are launched in OEM systems, you'll then start to see add-in board partner card versions. It wasn't made very clear when that will be. I think the general consensus was it was going to be a number of months before they came in OEM systems, and then probably a few months after that before we'd see like general availability from added board partners. So honestly, I don't know. I'm afraid it's just going to be a waiting game and see when we can get some. But yeah, I'm excited to actually get some and test some at some point. Corey, do you like the Aorus ATC 800? So I actually had to Google what that is. It does look pretty cool, to be fair. It's not something I've had my hands on personally. I'll just check the Amazon listing and see how much it is. Currently unavailable. Nice. I was hoping for price history or anything. Guess no. Camel. There we go. I'll check. I'll find it. Wait, is this the UK one? Yes. How much was it? No data. £119. Holy crap, that's a lot. So in that case, no. How much is an NH15? The black one is £90. Just buy one of those. Unless you really care about RGB. I know the LG 32 GK 950F is G-Sync compatible, but will it work fine with games at with 120 or 144 FPS? Let me double check what I feel like I know what monitor that is, but there are a lot of model names and numbers. 32-inch 100 foot, yeah, so yeah, that would be fine. It's like, because of the adaptive sync, FreeSync, G-Sync, whatever, when running at basically any frame rate, I think the normal lower end for FreeSync these days is like 44 hertz, 44 FPS. So as long as you stay within that range, it should be perfectly fine. And hey dude, is it weird I'm still using a 4790K? First of all, great name. I feel like that's one of those rim job Steve moments. And two, no, I think that's pretty fair, especially on the Intel side. Okay, if you look, if you go back, if you look at, say, a 9900KS and a 4790K or older, sure, you're going to have a reasonable performance difference there, but in the grand scheme of things, no. If it's doing fine for you, then that's cool. I would expect, I'm guessing you're running a relatively new graphics card, or at very least a high-end old one, right? Victor, I need a computer that handles hardcore coding session with 16 gigs of RAM and 500 gig plus of hard drive space. What brand do you recommend? So you're asking for a pre-built, which is cool. Are you asking for a custom pre-built, as in, like, also what country are you in? Because that matters who I can recommend to you. Or are you asking for an OEM pre-build? Like, do you want to hear Dell is a good option, or do you want to hear, like, go to CyberPower PC or something like that? A laptop in the USA, right? So laptops are a little bit different. You can still get custom laptops. People like PC Specialists in the UK do them, and I'm sure that there are plenty of folks in the US. In terms of relatively powerful laptops that aren't hideously expensive, actually the sponsor video that went out yesterday, the MSI GL65, I'm pretty sure that has 16 gigs of RAM. I'm pretty sure that has a terabyte of hard drive space, and I'm pretty sure that has a 90, or at least the model that I checked out has a 9750H, which is one of the better mobile CPUs that you can get right now, at least on the Intel side anyway. And is about $1,200, so it's not heinously expensive. And it's also not too bad at gaming either. So yeah, you can check that out certainly. But yeah, that'd probably be my first instinct. I don't have much experience with like the more prosumer that kind of stuff. Asus do a dual screen laptop that's hideously expensive but really kind of cool. If you want to check that one out too. But yeah, don't know if you talked about it before, but have you noticed that PC World Currys are starting to stock water cooling stuff online order only? I haven't. That seems very out of place for Curry's PC World. Fair. Iodan RTX 2080 Ti, planning to buy the LG monitor, but heard it's good, only good for limited FPS due to FreeSync and G-Sync compatibility. So what do you mean limited FPS? Prashant? What do you mean there? Hello, Liam and Ryan. I work in Coda on a Microsoft Surface Pro 6. Pretty sure you can get them with 16 gigs and 500 gig SSD. Probably expensive though. Yeah, Surfaces are pretty expensive. They're cool for what they are, but I don't know that that's necessarily quite right. Mac, is RGB dying down, or has it become the new default, so it doesn't really make a splash now? So it's definitely not dead. I edited a pre-roll ad that will be going out at some point for ASRock with a new X299 motherboard, and one of the key points they required me to mention is polychrome sync RGB. So it's certainly not a dead meme at this point, and I think it is becoming pretty standard. But yeah. I mean, I will still be able to use 141st feature with a 2080 Ti. Yes. Yes, you definitely will. The only thing that will stop you from using 140 Hz is not having the right cable. So I would recommend a decent quality DisplayPort cable, and then otherwise just making sure it's set to 144 Hz and where, you know, as long as your games are going that high in terms of FPS, yeah, you're all good. Also, hello Stein and hello Ish. How you doing, guys? Mickey, have you tried the Oddiz Mobius or the HyperX Cloud Orbit S? I have not, I'm afraid. I actually haven't talked to Kingston in a very long time. I honestly don't know who to ask anymore. So yeah, but I'm afraid not. The only ones that I could probably recommend in that sort of price range would be the SteelSeries Arctis Pro Wireless, and the Audio Technica ATX G1 and G1 WLs. These are my new de facto gaming headphones. I love them a lot, and they're just very nice. If like £240, so not the cheapest, but yeah. What do you think about the new Corsair QL fans? I probably got an email about them, which would imply that I've read it. Which email does he? That one. Oh yeah. Individually addressable LEDs. Powerful fan speeds. I mean, they look cool. I can't say that I am. I'm a massive fan of RGB fans. But yeah, if you like them, fair play. I can't imagine that they're going to be exactly horrible. I just think they might be heinously expensive. Oh yeah, that was today. Um, but yeah, I tried to blank out the growing invasion of RGB. Well, fair. Um, Corey, RX 5700 XT, Red Devil, great price for frames, but do you think Black Friday will see a price drop for non-super RTX cards? Um, so it kind of depends on the stock levels, and if the like Amazon sellers kind of thing and all the different, well, e-tailers and retailers will be interested in clearing old stock, or whether they'll try and effectively price gouge the older cards while they still have stock, and um, sort of supply is low and demand is high kind of thing. So yeah, kind of have to wait and see. I hope so. In theory, it makes sense because, you know, older cards, sale, let's get rid of all the stock. But since they're still in quite high demand, I'm not sure. Hello, Mr. Geekowat. How you doing, man? And hello, Dan. How you doing? All right. Um, yeah. When is Black Friday? God, it's soon, isn't it? It's a couple weeks. Yikes. Out of interest, how many of you guys actually care about Black Friday and or do stuff? I think it's on Friday. Do you know? I thought it was a Monday. Funny that. um, but yeah, like how much do you get guys actually care about Black Friday sales and or Cyber Monday sales? Not too bad. Busy but can't moan too much. I know the feeling. That reminds me to hold off on Christmas shopping. Nice. I mean, technically, I bought a Christmas present in July, so. But at the same time, I specifically bought that Christmas present in July so that I could then not care about it for the rest of the year. So, um, you wish. That's more prepared than your upload schedule. Well, I mean, my upload schedule is just pretty prepared, to be honest. Yes, I'll be looking for a few PC things, only for CPU components. I care about the sales, usually get some good stuff. Okay, fair play. Um, ow, I just punched the desk. Ow. I'm sorry for your ears because I assume that made some noise. Um, Yeah, I was thinking I don't normally address Black Friday or any of the sales, but I think that this year I'll do a video on Black Friday, which will then be relevant for the day and the next day. It'll probably, because the videos normally come out in the evening, I'll probably do them on, like, do that one in the morning or something, like morning here, um, so that uh like people in the UK would have time to watch it and then, you know, like make use of the information. But the video would be not necessarily about specific deals you can go and buy, although I guess I could try and find those. Might be kind of difficult. But my plan necessarily is more to do with trying to work out how to find good deals and using websites like Camel to check out the different like older prices for the product to see if you're actually getting a good deal or not, because Amazon has a history of either inflating the price just prior to launch, or like claiming they're giving you a bigger discount than you would actually be getting, or even selling it for the same price but calling it a sale. So yeah, hopefully that will be interesting. I still need to make the video, but you know, apparently I still have some time. And yeah, I suppose a live stream in the evening could work for like deals and stuff if I can collate a few. But as usual, I'll probably be tweeting them out anyway. So yeah. Doesn't Paul or Cal do a live stream looking through good deals in the day? Yeah, I think they do. I no go on PC at the moment. Fair. How come? Christ. Oh, since you're all here, what do you think of a one bay NAS? But America actually have deals and stuff. They do. The UK doesn't tend to have that many good ones in comparison, anyway. Gigabyte BIOS update killed Windows Boot Manager and a swap to the 3900X. Oh god, ish. Lol. Christ. Yeah, so what do you think of a one bay NAS that's gonna be as precarious as I'm willing to put it? Size. What? It's for reference. A one day NAS for ephemeral data. NAS is good to temporary access hard drive. Sure, but that's not what they're selling it for. My OpenWRT router. Need to see it. I mean, I haven't actually opened the box at all yet, but it's just a standard NAS, like a standard Synology NAS that only has one hard drive bay. Like you can only put one drive in it, and therefore no way to do any level of redundancy or anything. I think so. Actually, how much is this? What's it called? Nope. DS120J. How much is this? Tell me. £124. So 120 quid. Huh. What do you think? So yeah, that's what I'll be doing at some point. They're okay. It could be cheaper to use an old PC like I have with 12 terabytes of hard drive space. Nice. It's not for him. That's why it's his. What? That's 124 without drive, right? Yes, that's 120 quid with like empty. You'll then need to buy a drive and put one in there. Open it up. I mean, yeah, my router's cheaper. Yeah. Unboxing live on stream. Woo. I use FreeNAS on the PC NAS. I also use FreeNAS. There you go. Is it? I guess it comes with the screws in the packaging. Oh. Oh, it's not even a bay. It's literally just like you put the drive in, you screw it in, and then you put the enclosure back on. Okay. WD 4 terabyte MyCloud. Is this video sponsored by Unraid? Well, considering I said I use FreeNAS, probably not. But yeah. It's a single slot NAS, just a fancy name for drive enclosure. Do you know what? That's probably pretty fair. Well, see, the thing is that it does have it still runs the same operating system as all of their other NASs, so it still has all of the like apps that you can run on it and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna play around with it at this point, probably next week. and obviously I'll have a video on it at some point. But yeah. So, what do you think of the not this Ryzen 3950X? Obviously that came out today, or at least it launched today in terms of performance results. I don't have one, sadly. I hope I get one at some point. Not entirely sure, but I'm sure that I'll manage to find one somewhere. Even if AMD themselves don't necessarily send it to me, but hey, that's fine. But yeah, what do you think of it? From the benchmark results I've seen, it looks pretty interesting. You know, or you're looking at faster than the last gen Threadripper for less money, same money. Obviously, the motherboards are cheaper. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. You have to explain what it's for in your video, because to me it looks like an external hard drive that can connect to your router. Yeah, so the thing is that, like, that's just a normal NAS, like, as in the same sort of NAS that you would put, you know, 2 to 4 drives in and store all of your data. You know, it has its web platform, so you can you know, install stuff like Plex and web servers and stuff and run it from there. But instead of 2 or 4 bays, it's 1 bay. So yeah, not sure. Ish. Without testing it yet, possibly agree. Um, busting for it, even though as a gamer it's a ridiculous purchase for me. Fair play. I mean, yes, but you know, it is technically speaking the fastest, which is kind of impressive considering how many cores there are. And obviously the fact that the fastest chip is it's the fastest chip in all regards, which is obviously very rare for the PC market, right? I think that the main thing is that it now matches the 9900K, except has twice as many cores, and I think draws like a similar amount of power. I could be wrong on that one, but yeah, it's crazy. It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it's a great CPU. It's the real upper end of the market with the price tag, though, so it's a firm no for me. That's fair. Not everyone, you know, wants or needs a you know, 16 core CPU. It's certainly something that I would love to have personally, not necessarily for gaming, but for productivity. I've thought about swapping to Threadripper for a bit, just have extra cores for, you know, working kind of thing. But at the same time, the drawback, or the downside of going to Threadripper is that pretty significantly reduced gaming performance, and to see a desktop class chip be that fast in both is really exciting, because that's something that we don't see, or we haven't really seen in the market right now, like, you know, yet, kind of thing. So I'm very interested in seeing performance myself, ideally, but also just kind of where Intel goes from here too. Another shot across Intel's bows, indeed. And got to respect AMD for dragging CPU tech forward. I'm sick of supporting Intel. Yeah, definitely. Hey, I recently bought an RTX 2070. Is it good with a 6700K, or do I need to upgrade my processor? So the 6700K, despite what we've just been saying, is still a decent CPU. Ironically, I have one under all of that thermal paste in a motherboard. But yeah, it certainly is a decent enough option. What I would do is lol Mac. what I would do is have a go, like have a play with your new card, right? Put it in your system. See if it runs fine. If you specifically notice any issues or something that you know want extra performance, then sure you can look at upgrading your CPU. But for the time being, um, I think that you're probably gonna be fine. Not quite Stein. Sony some threes for gaming with cable for gaming or just by gaming pair. I assume that the Sony product you're mentioning is a set of headphones. Um, from what I know, I don't really know much about Sony's well, generally any of the Sony headphones. I'll be honest. So I can't really advise you there, but the active noise cancelling ones, fair play. Um, I would say, like, if you already have them, give it a shot. If you don't, then uh, I can't imagine that they're going to be the single best gaming experience on the market, but I certainly don't think they'll be too bad. And if you value having a good set of headphones for everything else and a bit of gaming, then sure. Otherwise, perhaps think about getting two pairs. But yeah, I'm not necessarily the best person to ask for this. Um, Also, hello, Mr. McRage. How you doing? For gaming, why go more than a Gen 7 board with a 7700 and a 1080 Ti or an RTX something when the memory chip prob strainer? I missed the last bit. So the general consensus is the uh like more cores is more better, especially for future proofing kind of thing. Um, it's not exactly the end of the world. You can definitely um, oh right, RTX cards are having memory share problems. Right. I did not know that. But yeah, the general thing is that like one, the 7700 7700K are not current generation products, which means you're going to have limited availability in buying them. Two, they are slower than like Ryzen 5 3600X kind of thing for similar money. And while sure gaming might only use 4 cores generally right now, um, most people don't buy a PC to upgrade it next year. Most people buy a PC to upgrade in 5 years. And with that in mind, like, yeah, you can if you're going for ultra budget, um, you can certainly go for used market stuff, and then sure that's a great option. But if you're trying to buy new, you really can't buy one of those right now. And um, if like if you're talking about buying used stuff, then that's kind of a different question, right? What are your thoughts on USB heated mouse pads? They're on sale. They're on Amazon for £17. One, why? Two, whatever floats your boat, and three, um, I can only imagine the amount of like EMF noise that produces. Hello, Chris. How you doing? Um, and fair play, Dan. Have you tried the Corsair Virtuoso headset? What do you think about it? So I haven't yet. I should have one on the way at some point. And then I will keep I'll keep you know like you can check the video out and then you'll be able to know. But for the time being, I'm afraid I haven't. Um, did you watch the Motorola Razr phone? I did. It looks interesting. I can't say that I really care that much. I also don't really like. I don't necessarily see the point in it besides just harkening back to the old product. Um, because like at least for me anyway, I have a OnePlus 7T Pro, and it fits in my pocket with no problems. And I appreciate that, especially for like ladies, like jean pockets and stuff, where they're like absolutely tiny or non-existent. I can see the point, but for reasonable sized pockets, why would you want a phone that's half the height but folds up and is a weird aspect ratio and has a stupidly massive chin and costs $1,400? Christ. Like, at least with the Galaxy Fold, you get something, like, interesting and a new form factor, right? But hey, you know, whatevs. Oh, the 7700K was released in Q1 of 2017, basically landfill now. So yes and no, it's still a great CPU. It's just, what, 3 generations old? Two generations old? What do you prefer, RTX 2070 or 2080 with a 6700K? So I can't say that I've ever tested that, but like obviously the higher end graphics card you get, the better performance you're going to get, but the more money you're going to have to spend. Generally speaking, the 2070 is going to be a better value for money than the 2080, but it depends on how much you're willing to spend now versus how long you want the card to last. And if that pretty substantial amount of money extra from a 2070 to 2080 you feel warrants the extra X amount of life you're gonna get from it. So yeah. Can you even get enough heat output out of 5 watts? Well, if it's USB 3, you can get 10 watts, maybe. And if it's Type C, you can get up to 100. Not that literally any freaking motherboard supports 100 watts Type C, like power delivery, but hey. Fair play. Yeah, like I said, it's I don't know if you're here for the other ones. But someone asked about 4780K with 2070 or something like that. Or either way, like I said, great. It's still a great chip. Obviously, if you're to compare it to 9900K for example, or a 3950X, they will be a reasonable amount faster. In the double-digit percentage, I think, but it's not like a death sentence for that chip or anything. So yeah, it's whatever you like you're willing to put up with in terms of like almost performance loss in comparison. But yeah, still good still good chips. USB 3 was 5 volt 1 amp. I thought USB 3 can do 2 amp. Can't remember. Either way, not much. Fair play, fair play. Wikipedia says 900 milliamps. Okay, fair. The 4780K will tie an i5 8th gen. Yeah, I believe that. That's probably pretty fair, yeah. RGB was so cheap in Malaysia. I can only assume that that's a supply difference. What do you mean, Corey? And hardcore hardware, I'd be upgrading my processor and getting a 2070 instead, and save the cash for the upgrade. Their play wait, even the 9700K, 9600K is pretty crap in games. Also depends what res. What do you mean pretty crap? Like it's hardly a terrible. CPU. Fair enough. And where's Corey? It's not Skylake. 4790K is Devil's Canyon. It's the one before Skylake. Well, technically it's two before Skylake because Broadwell was in between Devil's Canyon and Skylake. Skylake is 6th gen, 6700K. And then it's what? Ivy Bridge? No. God, I can't even remember anymore. Hello, Apted. How you doing? They got their RGB Christmas trees out now. Awesome. Far too early. 6 core is better than 4 core, 8 threads for gaming. I mean, I can, yeah, I guess. Hardcore hardware, fair play. I mean, I would probably generally recommend to the 3600, 3600X in that kind of price range anyway. But yeah. What are you debating, Watson? Hardcore hardware, yes, it is. The reason that I'd recommend the X for, I suppose, normies over the non-X is that the vast majority, like as much as us enthusiasts can overclock to our heart's desire, the vast majority of people don't overclock, whether they don't know how to or can't be bothered to, and it's like it's a better value for them who will not overclock. Yeah. You need a 6-core AMD to equal a 4-core Intel. So yes and no. AMD has structured their product stack differently to Intel, where the higher end chip you go on AMD, both the more cores and more clock speed you'll get. So yes and no. Whereas Intel generally have the same sort of clock speeds brackets, but then differentiate by cores. So yeah. We for gaming again, it varies depending on the game. But yeah, in terms of single threaded performance, and again, it depends on what AMD and Intel CPU you're specifically talking about, but a lot of the 3rd gen Ryzen CPUs are they are higher in single threaded performance straight up than Intel ones in the same sort of price bracket. Indeed, 3950X, especially from the as you say, the power perspective, is kind of crazy that it draws about the same, if not less, power than the 12-core variant. So yeah, 2x 900K performance at 70% of the power usage. I know, right? I did not. No. I mean, to clarify, I'm pretty sure every RTX card I've tested so far, or have at all, have been from pretty early samples, and I have not had any of those cards go awry. I mean, I should also add that I don't use any of them 24/7, so yeah. Yes, I've had 2070s. I think a couple of 2070s and a couple of 2080 Ti's in for testing stuff. Yeah, and I still have. In fact, the card that's currently blacked out in that PC is a 2070. I think it's an original release card as well. But like I said, I'm just one, so yeah. What's your thoughts on X399 not supporting the new 7 nanometer chips? I'm kind of pissed though. Fair. So I get it. Um, it's kind of weird that it's the same socket and everything, if I remember rightly, but it's just a different chipset. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Zenith Extreme was the same board that you could run first and second gen in, and there is quite a lot of changes to um, what you call it, third gen Threadripper that, including core counts and power delivery, that I can kind of see how it warrants it. Obviously, AMD's whole like mainstream platform philosophy is that, um, you know, basically everything is supported across the whole product stack, give or take. So yeah, it's a bit astray from AMD's usual, but at the same time, um, I'm sure that if they could have, they would have, and there is some sort of pretty significant technical limitation that means they can't. Yeah, that's fair. Um, I don't think many people care about PCIe 4 right now. I actually got a new a Sabrent Rocket Gen 4 SSD in for testing. But again, like you don't really need those drives right now. Um, so yeah. Um, nice. Um, so Ryan, we've talked about this. Um, so the 5700 XT, the bad drivers kind of thing, as far as I'm aware, is only is mostly people talking about how AMD cards generally improve performance over time. So benchmarks that you see from launch versus benchmarks you see 6 months, a year down the line, um, the AMD cards will improve over time, um, which is generally just a function of AMD being like a tenth of the size of Nvidia kind of thing, or at least their graphics division is. Um, but yeah, Christ, oh, um, so yeah, if you do want to look at the secondhand market, something like a 1080 Ti would be a great option and probably be about the same price. Obviously you're looking at secondhand stuff, so buyer beware there. But yeah, at the in the new market anyway, the 5700 XT is the great value option for now. If you're then, especially if you're then gonna save the money you would spend on the 2070 and go for uh higher, like an upgrade sooner than you would expect, kind of thing, upgrade it in a couple years time, for example. But the if you go for a 2070 Super, you would in theory be getting a good bit more performance, and therefore you'd be like you could have that card for longer, kind of thing, and therefore less likely to need to upgrade it sooner. Um, I mean, yes, in the if you're willing to go for the used market, a 1070 Ti, 1080 Ti, sorry, will like is a better card. Um, but it depends if you're willing to go to the used market or not. I know a lot of people aren't, so that's the recommendation between the two. Um, ba, 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 ba. Uh, Fair play Wapted. I can understand 32 core not supporting not supporting X399. but I would love to have had an upgrade path to the 3960X. But what can you do? True. I mean, you can always go to like 32 core on second gen at the moment. So you can always kind of take that path. Or even the 24. Obviously, you're not necessarily going to get the third gen Ryzen benefits or Zen 2 benefits, but yeah. Fair play. My first 2017 would randomize my multi-display. It's kind of a cool game, but somewhat annoying. I can understand that. Yeah. Chris, that is a jammy deal. Nice. No worries, Hardcore Harbor. Catch you there. Had to do some serious video editing on PC for the last few days. Really put my Titan and CPU to the test. Nice. What CPU do you have these days? There've been a lot of people swapping on the Discord and I've got it mixed up in my head. 1080 Ti and CEX right now is £510. You get 2 years warranty. Nice. Ah yeah, you have the 3700X. Chris has the 3800X. And Luke has the 3900X, right? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, fair. AMD boys, indeed. I mean, I'm still rocking the 2700 non-X, but you know, that's me. Well, mine doesn't work yet. I have one too. You have first gen Threadripper, right? Andy has one of each. I mean, to be fair, I do actually. I don't have the 3800X. I don't have one of those. Ryan sent me a link to the to the to the heated mouse pad. Oh, I moved me and not the whole window. Nice. Just so you can see this. This is what the mouse pad looks like. Okay, that's enough. Oh Christ. No, I wouldn't. Get me one for Christmas. Again, no, I wouldn't. The pink one worked lovely on my desk. Nice. Pink glove, yes. Andy, what? I need a magnetic PWM controller. What? A magnetic PWM controller? I can see Lonely Teens misuse that. Oh. If you've got £17 to spend, there is better things that you can buy on Amazon for that. Christ. Should I take the motherboard that's under the stairs of this rented property? What motherboard is it? Like, what socket does it have? What chipset does it have? Thank you, Stein. Thank you very much. I believe heated mouse pads might just mark the end of the Western civilization. Nice. Oh, it's a ASRock Fatality Z97X Killer. Fair play. I mean, you'd be playing a game of does the person remember what you have, like what he has, and but I don't know how to answer that. So I guess it was a previous tenants. Oh, Christ. Oh, Christ, man. Christ. Uh... Wait, so is there just a full like PC worth of stuff to like in a cupboard somewhere in that house? Why does RGB have so many different connectors? Because there's no unifying standard like USB or SATA. Um, so yeah, that. I mean, they're all still the same like pinouts. So like most LED strips, like most standard LED strips, like the sort of ones you can buy for your house or whatever, 50/50s, are common cathode? No, common anode. No, common cathode, because there are 12 volts in, and then the three different grounds for the three different colors, or four different colors if it's RGBW, um, and um, the hello Bulldogs, how you doing? Um, the digital ones are all just 5 volts data and ground. The only real difference is how they're laid out. So I think on ASUS boards it's still a 4 pin, but there's a gap with a pin missing. On MSI and Corsair stuff, it's 3 pins in a like Molex connector. And when I say Molex, not the 4 pin chunky one. That's Molex is a brand of connectors, like Sellotape is a brand of sticky tape, and Hoover is a brand of vacuum cleaners. Um, but yeah, that's the main reason. Um, I'm you got a Zotac 1080 Amp Extreme. I'm gonna put it on an MSI titanium motherboard with a 7700K. Nice, sounds cool. Question: my gaming PC in the living room is a Ryzen 1600X B350 motherboard, and my main gaming rig is a 2700X and a Corsair 7 Hero. Um, I want to upgrade the living room. Thoughts? What graphics card do you have in there? What's a good X570 board that's not too expensive? So here's the great thing. I can talk about motherboards and I can test them as much as I desire. But if someone like Hardware Unboxed or Gamers Nexus like shits on a board, I just get inundated with comments about how clearly like terrible a board is and how it's gonna like catch fire immediately or whatever. Um, which is fine. I'm glad that they're doing the testing, but at the same time, the hate that is generated by by their content, or like the fan base that they have, is kind of draining to deal with. But yeah, the main thing is that the MSI Gaming Edge board that I tested, if I remember rightly, tested with the 3700X, and the VRMs were cool as all hell, and all that jazz. So I expected that would be pretty decent. It's about £200, I think. The Gigabyte Gaming X board is also a reasonable option. Again, it's not hideously expensive. Should support any CPU you can put in it right now. So, yeah, those ones are the ones that I've tested personally. Is the i3 9100F worth $80? Honestly, I don't know. Can't say I've ever tested one, but I would guess that the like Ryzen 3400G or whatever would probably be a better shout. Although that's probably more 3200G for that kind of price point. But I'm not sure. You have to look up benchmarks, I'm afraid. See you out. Living room has a 1060 and main gaming rig has a 2080. So I'd probably upgrade the GPU before the CPU in the living room one. Because that was like upgrading your graphics card for gaming is a much better value or return on investment kind of thing than upgrading your CPU is. I'd maybe wait for a couple more generations and then maybe buy a third gen Ryzen used or something like that. That could be a good option. But yeah. Gavin, as with all of these questions, no, not really, unless you're planning on swapping it into a different iPhone 7. Lawfare. No, I don't. I'm afraid. Question is memory running at 33 megahertz at CAS 20 better than 2933 with CAS 18 on Horizon 1700? So one, I would kind of say that good luck running first gen Ryzen anything over the 3000 megahertz. And two, generally speaking, the CAS latency difference plus like almost cancels out the memory the speed difference there, generally speaking. So yeah, I would go with the 2933 with the lower CAS rating. Yeah. Will no onboard graphics reduce CPU temperatures? It only depends on if you're using the onboard graphics or not. Just having them there doesn't tend to do that much. It's if you're using them in any fashion, whether that's with Intel with QuickSync or just directly plugged into them. Yeah. I don't. I'm afraid I don't tend to do like all that much overclocking in the grand scheme of things, so I'm not the best person to ask. The only motherboard I tested caught on fire, but I did test it by throwing it into a blast furnace. Nice, handy. Have you tested the X570 Aorus Elite? I have not, I'm afraid. Hello, Mike. How you doing? And I guess that wraps up the hour. As always, thank you guys for sticking around. Corey, probably, with an asterisk on, depends if you can get, well, that seems pricey, but yeah. Anyway, I will catch you next week, and yeah, plenty of videos in between, so feel free to check them out. Anyway, I will catch you guys there. I think I need to end it on YouTube first, so Twitch, as always, gets like 3 seconds extra. I'll catch you later, guys. See ya.